Okay, thank you very much. All right. All right, thanks. Let's see.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So we love news.
Dare you? How dare you?
Good.
It's running out. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. And stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you, baby.
Okay. Well, we are here. 2 minutes. I think what is it? Like 2 minutes? Oh no, really, 4 minutes early. And it's so strange. I mean, I guess I put in the subject line 9 o'clock, and it's so when people see some people see it come out, they go straight to my room at 9:40, and I'm saying I'm not gonna hurry up. I'm setting up the names of the because I got to do this like 10 times. I'm setting
Right.
up the names of the show and all that stuff. And I see this lady named something Johnson comes in the room, and I said, "Nah, she's gonna have to wait because I can't rush this part of it. It's like I gotta
Right.
make sure all the names are in there."
Right.
So I may have to put in the notes. If you come in early, wait for people, because I see that she came in, and then she said, "Oh, where's the meeting?" But oh well. Anyway,
Well, for any that
it
do
is what it
drop
is.
by in advance and like, share, subscribe, you're going to really love this particular show. We're going to talk about some strange things, strange
This,
stories,
yeah, yeah. What's the stories
interesting
of that?
things, things about animals. Boy, oh boy, where do we start, man? This is a
Oh yeah.
packed show.
Oh yeah. Also, let people know that please subscribe to our show because we're stuck at 1,064. So let's move it up a notch there, and like it so it will help us with the algorithms. And then of course I'm running for HD5, and the voting is up until the 28th of June. If you live in the Denver area, put your vote in for me. And what else? My book, Six Years of Blindness, which I really need before I really get out there in the public eye. I need to finish up the Kindle editing of that, which now that I'm feeling a lot better, I'm feeling almost like 100% better today. Hey, it's time to go and do this. But okay, so what topics? Let's see. Okay, we got the story about the elephant. We had the story about the can you be can you be pregnant at the age of 63 and a male, born a male?
Yeah, yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I guess
That's
I
kind
guess
of the
even if
important part.
yeah, I guess they could do a lot of stuff if you're female and you want to have a baby at 63. Hey, they could probably make it happen. Then let's see. Then this movie I saw, Cotton Picking something. let me let me get the right title for that one, because it was a movie I was watching, and it had the late great Dick Gregory in it. So I know. So I think he died in
80
2000.
something.
Well, no,
What?
2018. Dick Gregory, the comedian. I think
Oh,
he was in this movie, and let me let's see. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I got my notes here. I gotta get that.
It's a movie made
Okay,
in
the Cotton Picking Truth movie. The Cotton Picking Truth movie. So
wow.
I stopped it twice because sometimes there's sometimes there's some kind of always with the left. There's always a little bit of propaganda in there. So sometimes if I say, oh man, oh, man, I'm
And this
glad they
was
didn't say
made
nothing
in
about.
2000. When was this movie made?
I think it came out in 2001,
Wow,
and I
that is
and I
very
and
interesting.
I and I got, let's see, I watched it, let's see, a couple of days ago. I started it and I stopped it and I started, and then I finished it out because okay, we'll talk about that. We'll start that one first. So the movie is called "The Cotton Picking Truth Still on the Plantation." It's like movie, right?
Hmm.
Like I said, it's Dick Gregory, and other people in there. And then so I read a little bit through the Constitution, but they were reading out in the 13th Amendment,
Hmm.
and I don't know if this was written by some Southerners. They put a clause in there saying, okay, the slaves are free, all that kind of stuff, but they put a clause in there saying, but if you are found guilty of a crime, you may be put back in. Well, basically, you may be put back into slavery. And because have you ever wondered like why they can pay prisoners 50 cents a quarter an hour, and that's legal, and it hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
Tell me about that.
Okay, in the 13th Amendment, there's a clause, and Dick Gregory, I love it. He always like to point out that he points out the clause in there that says that if you are found guilty of a crime, you could be put back in subserviency. And he says, like, the slave master could say, you're a free man, but he could say, oh, okay, to his buddy who's the judge or the court, he could say, or he could say, this guy over here, uh, he did something bad to someone, and I want him to be arrested. And then he's arrested, and now the guy could say, all right, son, you're going to come back on my plantation and you're going to work because you are now my slave because you have committed a crime against society. And you now have to pay your debt to society on my plantation.
Hmm.
And I didn't even, I didn't even know that. I mean, I sort of like knew that clause was there, but I mean, when Dick Gregory put it out, and so I pulled it up. I wasn't able to. I didn't pull it up on my computer. I did it on my phone, and sometimes they write. It's a 13th Amendment. It's like there's a lot of words in there. So I didn't find it this morning. Then I found out on June 10th. There's a judge, not a judge, a congressman. I think it's in Oklahoma, I think, and he's trying to appeal that part of the 13th Amendment, saying that you can, pay a prisoner lower wages, right? So he's trying to.
So we want to make sure that prisoners are brought up to speed and are paid a good, healthy, working wage. Is that right?
Right. So when they do get out of prison, at least they have some money, and maybe you could teach them while they're in there, how to manage their money. So when they leave, because usually they just give you like maybe $20 and say, "See you later." And unless you have family in that state, that could be a long later. I mean, that could be a short later because you may go back out there and commit another crime to make enough money just to eat or survive, right? Because
And yeah, so the system can be circular sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, you think like people would think about that. Like, okay, you don't have to give. Okay, you can have like you have money on the books, and like back in the day of Jesus' day, if you didn't have family or somebody, if you went to prison, you weren't gonna make it. And it's some ways like that in what country is this? Oh, Dr. Sebi had the same thing happen to him, and they wouldn't let his family come in and give him food and stuff like that, and he refused to eat their food. Um, oh, it's a sunny place, and right now I can't remember it. But anyway, it's like that in some third world countries still today, where if you don't have family or friends to come feed you, it ain't it ain't happening, right? And so now we have this thing where you make like maybe 50 cents, and then you make so much money. I don't know, maybe at 50 cents a day or whatever, and then you can buy things at uh, like toothpaste and stuff like that. But I'm thinking like if they made it where you're making like say something like $7 an hour. I mean something like that. But then they say okay, you could spend we'll hold back a third of your money, so when you get out, but you could spend the rest. So when you get out, instead of them giving you $20, you have some money that you don't have to go and steal something and go commit another crime in order to survive. And it's like, you think that there must be more people smarter than me, sooner than me, that could have come up with this idea. But it's almost like they think it's not broke. They think it's not broke, and they keep doing the same thing and then coming out with the same results. And welcome to the show, Ashton. We're just talking about like this prison system where they may pay a person 50 cents a day or 50 cents an hour or something like that, and then when they leave, they give them $20 and say see you later, and then when you commit a crime because you don't have enough money, because you haven't learned, you haven't got rehabilitated, and you only have $20, and that went down the drain very quickly. They wonder why there's such a recidivism rate. And so I just think we have bright minds out there. And then from this movie, like I said, I saw, it's called the Cotton Picking Troops Still in the Plantation, featuring the late great Dick Gregory. He in the movie it was showing like in Mississippi, there are still plantations out there owned by very rich men that could, and these people are living in these little shacks, and if you get out of that, and you get yourself educated, good for you. But if you don't, generation after generation are working on this plantation, barely for any if little money, and it's just weird that in 2001 we still have this plantation. Now let's get to our lithiums that we have for these electrical cars, the windmills, the solar panels that the Green New Deal wants. All of those are made either in Africa or China, using slave force labor. Now, in America, I guess if we don't see it, it doesn't exist. And to some people, even if you point it out, like these basketball stores, China's paying them a lot of money. Movie theaters, China bought a lot of the theaters, so they said, well, we can't insult China. I mean, they're paying our bills. But do you look the other way when you see that people are being abused like this? And I'm saying, come on, you guys, let's not do that. What do you say, Alan?
All ships have to rise on the tides of success. So that means all ships. That means everybody has to rise. We have to ascend and, take this 21st century by the horns, or else it will take us by the horns. We have technology that stands the I don't know what you call it. Potentially, it could take us over. That's what they call the quantum singularity. And some people believe that that could happen in 2029 or, maybe sooner,
Yeah.
where artificial intelligence becomes enough of a use in everyday society that it actually becomes sort of self-aware. Uh, Artificial general intelligences will certainly be used to, in the future, control uh, city stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Waterworks, utilities. This is the next 20, 30 years. This is a dream that they, well, not so much a dream, but a reality that they want to work towards. And,
Yeah. But in the
they,
meantime,
in the
everybody's
meantime, it's going
everybody's turning a blind eye.
oh yes, you're definitely correct on this. There is
Yeah.
going to be a price to pay for the Green New Deal,
Oh
and
yeah.
we are going. See, this is a great time to live because we are going to witness this. Oh yeah, bye bye. I'm sorry, but anyway, this is a great time to witness because this is something that is going to be transformative for everybody. We
Hmm.
just have to ascend. We just have to all, unite, as it were, under all the things that make us common as
Yep.
a race
Yeah.
and as a people.
And I remember reading in the book of James, it says, if a rich man comes into church and he says, here's this great seat right here, but then if a poor man comes in, you say, here, sit at my feet. He says, don't be, biased of people. And so, there's a lot of things going on. We can't change everything, but when we know, yeah, when we know that things are going on where, like in Africa or China, they're using slave labor to make windmills, to make these solar panels, to make this the dig in the lithium mines, and they're using like children to boot, as young, really young age kids to dig in these mines. How can we turn a blind eye and say, well, as long as we're getting ours for a cheaper price, we can put up with that because we don't see it. And it's almost like,
Um,
yeah, that awareness that this is happening. And yes, we want these things, but to the sacrifice of others. I mean, how long do we keep doing that kind of stuff? It's like,
because of possible video games that we have. Our video games are not
oh yeah,
for for they're not meant for even mature audiences. Mature audiences go, hey, well, I don't want to play that because that's too no, I'm good.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, but there are people that get into vids, and not to say that video games are bad, because I'm sure they're not all bad, but there are some interesting ones out there that have the capacity to definitely affect one's mind
okay,
and make them not
yeah,
very cuddly or happy or
yeah.
any of that.
And I want to remind people, you are watching Innovision FM, and do subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and do hit the push the like button. And also, our sponsor for the show is Christian Brothers Moving Company. They're located in, I think, in Denver, Texas, Phoenix, and they also help to sponsor the show. So before we move on to the next topic, we have Sean and Action in the room. Did you guys want to make a comment before we go into this story about the questionnaire? If you give blood and you're a biological man, and they ask you if you have been pregnant.
How you handle that? Like I don't know. I mean, wow. I guess I would say no, but I would wonder, why would that question be on my form? Maybe it's just a generic question that now
Yeah,
will appear on all forms.
yeah,
And that's my concern is 10 years down the line, because you see, all right, let me slow down. 10 years down the line, I believe that there might be a little box that says, are you human? Or you, augmented, hooked up with some brain chip. And whether or not you are, you're not, there's going to be people that are going to discriminate against that down the line because, you have augmented memory, perhaps you have augmented sight, perhaps
God.
you have augmented hearing, perhaps. I mean, there's lots of very good potential that you could have. Deaf people would be able to hear, blind people would be able to see with this brain chip, theoretically. And this is right around the corner, not kidding.
Yeah,
And
and it's happening in England right now. But they said you have to answer the question yes or no, or they will not take your blood if you come in to donate your blood in England. Uh, so they rather like not save a life just because you won't answer this stupid question. If you're a biological man, and this guy, he was 63 years old. He went to give blood, and
I guess they've been given for a while. They know it.
yeah, he's been doing it for a while. And now the questionnaire says, "Have you been pregnant in the last 6 months?" He said, "Well, it should be NA."
That's not accurate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I probably just marked it NA or didn't mark it at all, right?
yeah. And then they said, "Well, we can't take your blood because you didn't answer yes or no." And it says, "What?"
That's
And
silly.
so it's like it's really getting strange here in the United States. Well, no, well, here in the United States, but this one hasn't got here yet. My wife, like she is like in her 50s, and so they asked her that question, and I
Sure.
guess like with women, I guess they could
Oh yeah.
rev you up and get you ready to have kids because of scientific science, but you have all the body parts to make that happen. Oh,
What do you guys think about that? Leave those comments down there. Do wait for 24 hours for a response because we don't see them all the time, all that quickly. So, PayPal.me/Intervision Denver is how to help out with keeping the lights on. So you got the midterm thingies coming up June 28th. Don't forget to get out and vote. Doesn't matter what your conscience is. Doesn't matter what your, what side you're on. Just do your thing because this is an important time.
yeah.
And that's all I can say about that.
And but some reason, my Zoom is saying return to meeting, and I cannot. I don't know if I know Ashton's probably saying something, but she's saying, why can't they hear me? So, Alan, what I want you to do is give us some more promotional stuff that's going on. Dreamland concert is coming up this Saturday, and just
Oh, yeah.
talk about something.
Okay, so Dreamland. Um, Dreamland Music. Let's look at those guys. Okay. So what you got is Dreamland Music, and they're spelled interestingly M-U-Z M-U-Z-I-K. I'm gonna have to double check that. We'll put the links down below later for the replay. Saturday. I don't have that in front of me. Huh. Well, we do try to get grassroots musicians up and promoted. I'm such a wonderful person, gang. Got a list here. In addition to promoting disabled musicians, we help also promote financially challenged folks. And in this day and age, I guess that's probably everybody. Gas prices are through the roof, and everything is, the way that it is. But we are thankful to our God. Some people do worship the Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And that happens to be us. So not ashamed to talk about that kind of thing. And that's the only promotion that I can really call forth here. I mean, he is the one that provides all our needs, all of our desires of our heart. Now, my personal desire happens to be to serve him at the time that I've got left, be his light in this dark world, and that's about it. I've done everything I've ever wanted to do in my life. So, let's see here. All right. So anyway, that's what we got going on there with promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rough world out there. The one thing that unites everybody is music. Music makes you feel. Feeling is the basis for one of our senses. When you hear it, that's a second sense that's built, and two things gathered together make a strand. And sometimes you can feel music because sometimes you can feel, hear, see music.
Oh,
When you look at,
we're getting there, Alan. We're finding out why people can't unmute themselves. So keep it up for a second.
all right, so let's see. When
Oh,
you see stuff,
oh, okay. You were talking about Dreamland. It's MUZIK for music. So Dreamland Music, and you can still get tickets for $2 off. Just email us, and we can do that.
that's info at interviewfm.com.
Yeah, or if you go to Afton
After
Afton shows dot com / Dreamland Music, you can buy tickets online,
yeah,
and
so
you can do
that,
that.
that
All right.
covers that. Hey, where are they playing?
They're playing at the Roxy Theater. So they're at Roxy Theater, and the show starts at 7 to 11.
There's two
George
Roxy theaters, so look
it's
for the
on
one.
Walton Street. Hey, but you'll see it. You'll see it when you go to
After,
aftonshows.com /
slash,
Dreamland Music.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll definitely see it there.
Are you going to put that link in the description below?
Yeah, I could probably do that as soon
Yeah,
as
you
I
probably should at the end there,
probably.
just for replay.
Yeah. Um, uh, Let me go back to Ira here and see if we can figure out what else can happen here.
All right, brother.
I'll be right back.
All right. So anyway, that's what we got going there, folks. Like, share, subscribe, all that neat stuff. We're kind of shadow banned at 1,000 some odd subscribers, 1,500. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed and are listening. We're working on a bunch of different projects. We've got a live 24/7 type stuff going on. Check out the intervisionfm.com website for details on the schedule. There's a noon to 1, that's Mountain Standard Time. Let's see. So it's 1,200 to 1,300 Mountain Standard Time that we do some sort of what do you call it? Story time and all kinds of crazy stuff. 3 to 4:30 on for I've got to memorize this silly schedule. Anyway, 3 to 4:30 on Fridays. We have some cool stuff going on. And we do have 24/7 music, interviews, all kinds of different stuff. There's a show by the name of Robert Randall, and talks about holy worship, this kind of thing. And that's really the most important thing, is Jesus Christ in this day and age. And that's just my opinion there, and all that. Wow, we live in a very interesting time, folks. Don't forget your friends, your family. Don't forget your loved ones, and love each person like they're the only one, and live each day like it's the last one. And
All right. So you gave the lineup for our innovation show. For some reason, ladies and gentlemen, our participant I mean, Alan came in just fine, and our participants have been unmuting themselves, but for some reason we can't hear them. So I don't
that
know.
was,
It's always something with this Zoom. Uh, but anyway, so sorry about that for the people who came in today and they couldn't participate. Shall we get to okay, our last story about the about the elephant?
uh,
I guess I guess
yeah,
this well elephants live to be about 60, right? About 60 or more years
at
old.
least, yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess this lady was 70 years old. She was from India woman,
Mm.
and I guess she was going to get some water. And maybe a long time ago, when this elephant was just a baby, maybe she hit it with a stick when she was a kid, or kicked it, or whatever.
No,
And
my,
and the elephant looked at her and said, "Not
I remember
today,
you,
not tomorrow,
not ever.
not maybe even next week, but
Uh,
someday."
uh,
And that someday she was just walking nonchalantly to get some water, as she's done for like 70 years. And
oh
that
boy,
and that elephant saw her from a distance, and he started charging. And
oh boy.
then he trampled her.
Long memory. That's one thing
Yeah.
about elephants. That's many things about elephants as well. Is very strange. They kind of have their own social structure. So,
Hmm.
like, let's say one of them were to kick off in a herd of them, they would kind of mourn over the grave of that or grave site of that poor stricken elephant. Interesting behavior with
Yeah.
elephants, and you definitely don't want to make one mad because they will hurt you.
Now he took it a step further. Now, probably she had family who didn't even know about what she had did when she was maybe 7 or 8 or whatever age she was way back then.
Uh,
And so they're, having a funeral and they're mourning for her. And the elephant looked up and said, "What? You're doing what?" and and he says, "I killed you once. I'm gonna kill you again." And so he runs back through, tramples her again,
what?
and
He kills her twice
oh
because he thinks that. Wow.
well, so I guess being flat as a pancake wasn't good enough. He says, "I'm gonna make you as thin as paper."
Wow.
Yeah, they say put this back together. Oh man. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to be in the jungle and you see a baby elephant, please treat it nice.
Yeah, pet it, something. I don't know.
Cut it some
Wow.
slack.
Yeah, cut it some slack, something. Yeah, run the other way. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be uh,
I've always had good
sarcastic. Yeah.
experiences with elephants, man. I've met a couple in my day, and one at a circus when I was a small child, and another one when I was young, probably 14.
Hmm.
And beyond that, that's about it.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, hey, we're gonna
uh,
call it. We're gonna call it a day. Thank everybody for joining. Sorry, like I said, for the early birds, I'm gonna have to leave a message in there saying that don't come in that early, and for the ones who couldn't. Oh, Sean, the meeting's over. The meeting's almost over. I guess you weren't able to participate because you weren't able to unmute, or did you want to say
Yeah,
anything?
technical thing. I don't know.
Something technical is going on, so we'll have it fixed by tomorrow. So sorry about that, and thank you for at least joining us. And send us an email, info at intervisionfm.com, and let us know what happened technically. Okay.
Something.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys tomorrow here
See
on
you, folks.
Intervision.